So let's talk about NACA. So I haven't made a video on NACA in a very long time. And the reason being is I did not have the best experience in 2024 working with the program. I was able to close 3 buyers through the NACA program, and all 3 of them was working with 4 clients through the NACA program in 2024. And I was able to close 3 of the 4. But all of them were assigned to the same counselor. And from my experience working with this specific counselor, not necessarily the program in a whole, working with this specific counselor, it took us a lot longer to get deals closed. And I feel like it was the counselor's fault as to why some of the things were delayed. So from that experience last year, I haven't really sent many clients through the program in 2025. I still think it's an amazing program. You just have to get with somebody who cares enough to go above and beyond to make sure that everything is submitted in a timely manner. So basically, NACA is kind of like the liaison. They're the liaison between Bank of America, who is actually the lender. And Bank of America, the lender, has 2 to 3 business days to respond to any conditions that are satisfied. So let's say Bank of America comes back and says, "Hey, I need 2 additional pay stubs from this applicant." And they do that Monday the 1st. And let's say Monday the 1st, they have 3 business days to respond after the counselor submits those additional banks or pay stubs for review. So let's say the counselor submits the pay stubs the same day on the 1st when they ask for it. So then they have the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th, or the 4th. Well, technically the 5th, they would respond back and say, "Hey, we got the pay stubs. Everything looks good. We can move forward to approving the applicant or move forward to closing." Well, let's say instead of the counselor submitting the pay stubs on the 1st, the counselor doesn't submit the pay stubs until the 4th. Then we're going past the weekend into a whole new week of us waiting to get that approval from the lender. So in my experience last year working with this one specific counselor, it just took extra time to get documentation. And I would call, and sometimes the counselor wouldn't answer the phone for me, which he doesn't have to answer the phone for me because I'm a referral agent. Now, his applicants, his actual clients that he's counseling, he should definitely be answering the phone for them, relaying what information is needed, and that person should relay that to the referral agent. So with my experience last year, it just took a lot longer. Like all of my buyers, all 3 of them, passed the 30-day mark. I even had one buyer, because we didn't close within 30 days, they had to pay per day until we closed because the seller didn't want to have to pay for utilities beyond the actual contract date. So we had to pay per day. Had one buyer who had their U-Haul truck ready to move in, thinking that we were going to close on this, let's say Friday, and it lingered on until like 2 weeks. It took about 2 weeks from that date for us to close. So last year, I just had a really negative experience through the program, and I think it was because of the specific counselor that I was working with. Now, I had buyers in 2021 working with these counselors, and we were able to get through the program. It was no issues. It was a very blissful experience. But last year, and I guess maybe that's the universe teaching me that the program is a great program, giving everybody the opportunity to become homeowners. It's a really great, it's unheard of. But if you're working with somebody in the program that just doesn't give you exceptional customer service, you or the client, it could get to the point where it's just, it's negative because of the experience that you're getting from the counselor. So what I would recommend is just making sure, like, when you get assigned to someone, kind of ask higher ups in the program, like, what happens if this person goes ghost on me? What happens if I get conditions that come back and I need them to be satisfied within either the same day or within 24 hours to make sure that we can close in a timely manner? What happens? Because we know that Bank of America, they get their allotted time to respond. They get 2 to 3 business days to respond to any type of condition or satisfaction of the condition. So what are you going to do in the event if that happens and you don't relay the information to me? Like, I don't want to be out of putting money down and losing money because we're not doing everything in a timely manner. So right now in 2025, I only have one person that's going through NACA right now, and she should be getting 2 people. They both should be getting qualified around July. And I'm praying that this time around it is a positive experience. One person has the same counselor that I worked with last year. And then the other person has a brand new counselor, which I'm excited to work with the new counselor just to see how they operate, to see if it's the company as a whole or if it's just the individual counselor who may not have enough time in order to dedicate to each buyer that they're working with, and things get missed. And sometimes it can take an additional 30 days to close because things aren't getting submitted in a timely manner. So like I said, I still recommend the program because they have a lot of advantages. It's just sometimes you may get, I don't want to say someone that doesn't care, but someone that just doesn't have the time to dedicate and give 100% to everybody that they're counseling. So if you guys need more information about the program, I haven't made a video in a long time because I was just really stressed dealing with it last year, trying to get these people closed. But if you guys want more information about the program, it's really great. 0 down payment, 0 closing cost. You can buy down your interest rate. They don't consider your credit score. You can have an eviction on your history as long as it's 1 year in the past. So they give everybody the opportunity to become a homeowner if you want to become a homeowner. You just got to get with someone that's strong. And boy, when I tell you, I fought for those 3 buyers to become homeowner. We went up to higher ups in NACA and we were emailing hey, could you do something to make this process speed along a little bit quicker? And I think that plus the buyers pushing got them to the closing table, and grateful because I had one buyer. She actually purchased a manufactured home in the Central Florida area on its own land. So she didn't have to pay a lot rent or anything like that. But she got that 3-bedroom, 2-bath manufactured home on a really large lot for $150,000. So now her family they own their own home. Her kids have their first home, and she was able to do that with less than $5,000 out of her pocket. I can't find a lender that can offer that 0 down payment, 0 closing costs without having to negotiate it into the deal. So that's why I still recommend it, because even through the stress that I went through last year working with the program, there's still these beautiful stories that manifested out of it. And I just really feel like it was teaching me to just be patient. And sometimes you're going to have negativity and negative situations that you have to overcome. And I was able to overcome it for 3 people. So now they're homeowners. But yeah, if you are looking to go through the program, I would love to talk more with you about it, give you the real, not give you what the company's going to tell you because they have to protect the company, but just give you the real rundown of the pros, the cons, what you may expect and how to kind of overcome it. Just making sure you have a really great agent, whether it's the in-house agent or a referral agent or someone that you know that's going to work through the program with you. But just as long as they're a really, really great agent and they can overcome any obstacle that's thrown their way. But yeah, I would love to talk to you. So what you could do is you could book a time to meet with me. The link is in my bio. It's called a buyer wealth session. You can schedule a time no matter what state you're in. We can kind of go over where you're at in the process. And then once you set up your home buyers workshop, we can get you with a realtor out in your area, or you can work with me if you're in the Central Florida area, which is from Tampa to like Daytona, that area, and I can help you become a homeowner through that program. And if NACA doesn't work out, because you do have to go through a rigorous education process and uploading your documents, and they get you prepared to purchase. If NACA doesn't work out, you could just go with a traditional lender, because at that point you'll be ready to purchase. So yeah, so information link is in my bio. If you have any additional questions, you're more than welcome to shoot me a text. Phone number will be at the bottom of this screen, or you can give me a call, shoot me an email. All of my information is in the link in my bio. So all right, I hope you guys have a beautiful day. Love and light. Bye.